Hey, welcome back. What we have today is our 1984 Squier Stratocaster. And this is a guitar that my mother bought me for Christmas 40 years ago today. I was just a 17-year-old kid in high school and wanted the Stratocaster. Had saved up most of the money, and because I'd gotten so close and had done such a good job saving up, my mom just went ahead and got me the guitar. And that's part of why this one is so special to me. It wasn't my first guitar. That was one of those $50 pawn shop specials. And it wasn't even my first good guitar. That was a Gibson SG Firebrand that I bought off a classmate. And but this was my first Stratocaster and my first brand new guitar, and it's been with me ever since. And so I've played this thing a lot of gigs. I've played it around Nashville. I've played it in Alabama. I've played it in Florida. Played it in Pennsylvania. Um, it's been around with me, and so yeah, this is a very special guitar. Obviously, it's not stock. Let me walk you through this. Um, I changed out. Well, first thing I had to do was replace the pickup selector switch because that just passed away basically early on in the guitar's life. But I tried out different pickups, DiMarzios and such, and finally settled on the EMG DG20s, the David Gilmour set. These have been in here for 25 years or better, and so love those. The pickguard, the original pickguard, was a triple A white, black, white, and that got signed by Yngwie Malmsteen in Pittsburgh. He was on the Marching Out tour, I believe it was, and heard on the radio that he was going to be at a record store signing autographs. And so everybody had their albums and posters and stuff, and I walked in there with my guitar and put it on the table and had him sign right here. Well, of course, that started to get a little smudgy, so I took that pickguard off, and it is sitting in a box somewhere here in the basement. And this actual pickguard is from a 1979 Fender Stratocaster that I had back in the 80s, and I guess 80s, early 90s. No, this was still the late 80s. Back when you could pick them up for like $500. And the bridge pickup, something happened with the bridge pickup, and I had to replace it on that 79. And when I did, I thought, these black Strats look really cool with white pickguards. So I bought a new white pickguard and put it on there, and took the original pickguard and put it on this guitar. So this is actually from a 79 Stratocaster. And up here on this end, you'll notice it doesn't say Squier anymore. It says Fender, and that's because in the early 90s, no, mid 90s, I think, mid to late 90s, I had this guitar refretted over at Glazer. No, hang on, was it a Glazer? God, I can't even remember anymore. Anyway, I had the guitar refretted, and when I did that, I had it changed to Fender Stratocaster. Got this on eBay, which I don't know if you can buy these on eBay or not anymore. But there were guys that were selling these that looked original like this, and guys that were selling them that had like all the pinup girls on them and stuff like that. And to me, it's the best Fender, one of the best Fenders I've ever had. And even though it's actually a Squier made in Japan, I thought it deserved the Fender logo. Now, of course, the guys on the Squier forum, they give me a lot of grief about that, but it's my guitar. I'm the only person who's ever owned it, and I'll own it till I die. So that's my guitar. The graphite string tree is one of the things I tried to get it to stay in tune back in the 80s when I still used the tremolo bar. So that stayed on there. And let's see here. Got a sticker from a website that I run. It's kind of dead right now, but it's still got advice and stuff like that up on there. So if you're interested in visiting Japan, check out my website. Then I've got Jubilee over here and Rogue. Now, these stickers aren't just for decoration. They're actually covering up dings and dents in the body. Let's see, all the rest about this is stock. Of course, I use the DiMarzio strap locks because I don't want to drop it. And then on the back here, we have a gigantic I Love My Fender sticker from the 80s that's been on there since, well, the 80s. Let's see. Can't remember where I got this cover. I don't think it's off the original 79. But anyway, gold screws, just because that's what I had lying around. And more scratches and dings. And then the sticker here that says, just in case you wonder how it fits into my collection, priorities and all that. So yeah, very well loved guitar. Had it 40 years today. And there we go. So what I'm going to do to it today is I'm going to give it a fresh 9-volt for the EMGs. And then I'm going to try out these new fret erasers I bought from StewMac. As you can see, I haven't even unwrapped them yet. I went ahead and bought the full set. The frets themselves are actually in good shape. The guitar plays well. They're just a bit dirty, a bit corroded. You know, when you have multiple guitars, some you play more than others. You go through phases and you play this Les Paul for a while, or this Flying V, or this SG, or this Telecaster, or this Strat, or whatever. And even your favorite guitars hang out without getting any playtime for a while. So I've got all my stuff here, my good old trusty multi-bit screwdriver, new fret erasers I want to try out, 9.5 to 44 strings that I've been using for 30, 35 years, the 9-volt, my little string winder, and my trusty cord tuner. And I actually use the Bluetooth to connect it to the guitar because this little cord tuner, as good as they are, they don't weigh anything. And so if you have the guitar plugged in to the tuner with the cable and you move, the cable maybe shifts or whatever, and the tuner goes flying off the table. Yeah, I don't like that. So I just use the Bluetooth there to connect it. It makes it easier. And yeah, that's it. That's what we're going to do this afternoon. Kind of clean it up and to get those frets all nice and shiny. Fresh 9-volt, fresh strings. And yeah, nice 40th anniversary present for it. Now, I don't have a tripod for the phone. Still haven't bought one. But that's okay. I don't have any video editing software either. So because I spend all my money on guitars. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut the video here, and maybe we'll paste on the after later if I can figure out how. So talk to you soon. All right, work's all done, and looks the same, right? Except for those shiny, shiny, shiny frets. Now I did have a couple of nicks, well, not nicks, but string grooves up here. You almost see them. Well, you can definitely see that one. Right there on the 2nd fret. I guess I played a lot in that key. But anyway, otherwise they were pretty good. Didn't have any nicks or cuts or anything like that. So I didn't use the 220. Now, they were fairly corroded because for decades all I've done when I change strings is just sit there with the guitar in my lap and change the strings out there in my chair. And I didn't polish the frets and stuff like that. So I did have to use the 400 on several of the frets. And then started with the 8 and went on up to the 8000 and just worked my way through. And they are nice and clean and smooth. And I'm looking forward to playing that tonight. I did forget some, I was showing you the tools I had out earlier. And I did forget some things, like I always forget my wire clippers there, and and the masking tape. So I had to go get those, and electrical tape, because I forgot that on the 9-volt when I put it in here for the EMGs, it sits under these tone controls, and while I haven't heard of anybody having a problem with the case of the 9-volt. Making a connection and arcing anything in there, still I take the precaution of putting electrical tape on the upper side so that when it sits there under the circuit board and everything, it doesn't make any contacts or anything. But yeah, there we go. That's done. Oh, and I dug out the original pickguard. So there you are, signed by a possibly sober Yngwie Malmsteen in 1984 in Pittsburgh. And yeah, it now if you're a super Strat nerd, you may know that this particular screw hole is in a different place on some pick guards for some years, I think, or maybe that's an aftermarket thing. So apparently I had another pick guard on here at one time, and there was another screw hole here, but it turns out that's the original one. And as you can see, I don't have all the screws back in. I took some wood glue and filled in some of the holes because they were getting soft. You know, you got to take the screw out, and you can feel there's almost no resistance. You can just you know, get your fingernail in there and pull it out with your hand. So I decided to firm those up, and I've used that before. I'm pretty sure. I've also used Elmer's wood glue and like the end of a toothpick. Just stick the end in there and trim it off, and then fill it with glue. Then when it all dries, just put the screw in there, and it's nice and tight. It has a good hold on it. So I've got a few of those, 1, 2, 3, and 4, that I'm just going to wait for those to dry and cure, and then it'll be really all done. But yeah, looking forward to playing that tonight, 40th anniversary, with my my Japanese Squier. So thanks for watching, and talk to you on the next one. Later.